online classes. Today, we are going to discuss the third chapter, Coordinate Geometry, from 9th standard.
Suppose you put a dot on a plain paper. How will you tell us the position of that particular dot? You need to consider the distance from the bottom line as well as the distance from the left edge of the paper. Consider one more example. Have you ever observed the seating arrangement of students in a class? The position of each student is described precisely using two independent information. That is, the column in which he or she sits or the row in which he or she sits. If you are sitting on the desk lying in the fifth column and third row, you can represent its position as 5, 3, where 5 represents the column number and 3 represents the row number. This simple idea has given rise to a branch of mathematics which is called coordinate geometry. In this chapter, we will study about the basic concepts of coordinate geometry, and you will study more about this in your higher classes. This study was initially developed by the French philosopher and mathematician René Descartes. Descartes invented the idea of placing two such perpendicular lines on a plane and locating the points on the plane referring to these lines. For this, we will use the help of two number lines, and one number line is horizontal whereas the other number line is perpendicular. Now, combine them together intersecting at the point O, where the horizontal line is known as the x-axis and which is denoted by x dash x, and the vertical line denoted by y dash y is known as the y-axis. The point at which x dash x and y dash y cross is called origin and it is denoted by O. The positive numbers lie along the direction OX and OY. They are called the positive direction of x-axis and y-axis respectively. Similarly, OX dash and OY dash are called the negative directions of x-axis and y-axis respectively. Now, these lines divides the plane into 4 parts. These parts are called quadrants. This system is called coordinate system. Consider the following diagram, and 2 points are marked on the graph paper. We draw the perpendicular PM on the x-axis and PN on the y-axis. Similarly, we draw perpendiculars QR and QS as shown in the figure. And we can find that the perpendicular distance of the point P from the y-axis measured along the positive direction of the x-axis is Pn is equal to OM equal to 4 units. Similarly, the perpendicular distance of the point P from the x-axis measured along the positive direction of the y-axis is Pm is equal to On equal to 3 units. Now, consider the point Q. The perpendicular distance of the point Q from the y-axis measured along the negative direction of the x-axis is OR is equal to SQ is equal to 6 units. Now, the perpendicular distance of the point Q from the x-axis measured along the negative direction of the y-axis is OS is equal to RQ is equal to 2 units. In general, we write the coordinates of a point using the following conventions. The x-coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from the y-axis measured along the x-axis, positive along the positive direction of the x-axis and negative along the negative direction of the x-axis. For example, consider the point that we have discussed in the previous problem. It is plus 4 and for Q it is minus 6. The x-coordinate is also called the abscissa. Now, the y-coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from the x-axis measured along the y-axis, positive along the positive direction of the y-axis and negative along the negative direction of the y-axis. Now, as in the previous example, for the point P, the y-coordinate is plus 3 and for Q, it is minus 2. The y coordinate is also called the ordinate. In stating the coordinates of a point in the coordinate plane, the x coordinate comes first and then the y coordinate. We place the coordinates in brackets. Now look at the figure. Here we are going to mark the points in the plane. First of all, consider the point B. Now we need to find the position of B. Here we can see that the position of B from the y-axis is 4 units. This is the distance from y-axis. And what is the distance from B to the x-axis? From the x-axis, it is 3 units. So, 3 units from x-axis. So, coordinates we can represent B as B is equal to 4, 3. Now, consider the point M and its x coordinate is -3 and what is its y coordinate? It is 4. So, its position is -3, 4. Now, we need to find the position of L and S. Here, L lies in the third quadrant. So, what is the x coordinate? Which is equal to -5 and y coordinate is equal to -4. So, its position is L is equal to -5, -4. Now, consider the point S and its x coordinate is 3. What is the y coordinate? Which is equal to -4. So, its position is 3, -4. Consider a point on the x-axis and it is of the form x, 0 where x is the distance from the y-axis. Similarly, consider a point on the y-axis and it is of the form 0, y where y is the distance from the x-axis. What are the coordinates of the origin O? It has 0 distance from both the axes, so that its abscissa and ordinate are both 0. Therefore, the coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. In the examples above, you may have observed the following relationship between the signs of the coordinates of a point and the quadrant of a point in which it lies. If a point is in the first quadrant, then the point will be in the form ++, since the first quadrant is enclosed by the positive x-axis and the positive y-axis. If a point is in the second quadrant, then the point will be in the form -+, since the second quadrant is enclosed by the negative x-axis and the positive y-axis. If a point is in the third quadrant, then the point will be in the form -, since the third quadrant is enclosed by the negative x-axis and the negative y-axis. If a point is in the fourth quadrant, then the point will be in the form +-, since the fourth quadrant is enclosed by the positive x-axis and the negative y-axis. Look at the figure. Here, some points in the coordinate system are given and we need to find the coordinates of these points. First of all, we will consider the point D. Here, this point D lies in the first quadrant and its coordinates are 6, 2. Now, consider the point B on the second quadrant. Its coordinates are -5, 2. What about the point M? It lies in the x-axis, so its y coordinate is equal to 0 and the coordinates of point M is -3, 0. Now, consider the point L. Here, L lies in the y-axis, so its x coordinate will be 0. So, the point is 0, 5. What about H? Here, H lies in the third quadrant, So, the point is minus 5, comma minus 3. Consider the point E. Here the coordinates of E is minus 3, comma minus 5. What about the points G and C? Both of them lies in the fourth quadrant and the coordinates of G is 2, comma minus 4 and of C is 5, comma minus 5. Now we will see how to place these points when the coordinates of the points are given. This process is called plotting the point. Now consider the point 3, 5. We need to plot this point on the graph. The coordinates of the point 3, 5 tell us that the distance of the point from the y-axis along the positive x-axis is 3 units and the distance of the point from the x-axis along the positive y-axis is 5 units. Starting from the origin, we count 3 units on the positive x-axis and mark the corresponding point. Now, starting from this point, we move in the positive direction of the y-axis and count 5 units. Mark this point as P. Hence, P is the position of the point 3, 5. Now, we will plot the point 5, minus 4 in the coordinate system. Starting from the origin O, move 5 units along the positive x-axis. And the distance of the point Q from the x-axis is 4 units along the negative y-axis. So, its y-coordinate is minus 4. So, this is the position of the point 5, minus 4. From previous example, you have found that if x not equal to y, then the position of the point x, y is totally different from the position of y, x. Now we will plot some more points on the Cartesian plane. Now we will mark the point minus 3, 7. Here, this point lies in the second quadrant and position of this point is as shown in the figure. What about the point 4, 4? Here, both the points are positive. This implies that this point lies in the first quadrant and its position is given in the figure. Now, consider the point 0, minus 3.5. Here, x coordinate of the point is 0. This implies that this point lies in the y-axis and this is also shown in the figure. So, that's all about today's class. See you all. Thank you.